my name's Grandad. This week we're going to be moving on to starting on first fixing all the electrics, all the 12 volt wires and all the 230 volt ring mains power. For those of you that know, my background is sort of more plumbing and gas and bathrooms, kitchens, etc., and basically working on houses. So I've got an idea, and I do know how a sort of mains power system will work, a ring main in a house, and 240 volt, 230 volt lighting, etc. But doing 12 volt on boats or motorhomes, caravans, or whatever you want to do, it's a first for me. So it's been a bit of a learning curve. When we originally started thinking about getting a boat, obviously there's a lot of planning involved, and one of the biggest issues we had, not issues but biggest chunk of time was spent was trying to work out the 12 volt wiring for the boat, because there is a lot of stuff going in this boat, not compared to others, but for certain boats they can keep them really simple, but we want certain things in certain places, etc. So started doing a load of research on the internet, as you do. We bought a couple of books on boat design, read those, went on Facebook, and I joined a group on there which is called the 12 volt boating group. There's two on there. There's one in lowercase and one in uppercase, but I joined the one with the uppercase, and if you're searching for that, it's a guy that runs it called Graham Mills. Absolutely brilliant guy, he knows his stuff. So I just went on there, and they're a great group, and there's a great group of people that are actually involved with the admin, because they're not people that will, they obviously understand that people join it to gain knowledge, and that's what they're into. So if you ask a question and you think, oh, that's a really silly, stupid question to ask, you don't get any silly, stupid answers to that question. They're really, really helpful. And if you don't understand, you can ask them again and they'll explain it in a different way. So I joined them, and basically what we've done for the boat is a lot of this stuff has been developed or made from all that information we got off Facebook. I've also got friends through work, friends and social friends and family members who are in the electrical game, ex-electricians and still electrical engineers, etc. So I've obviously been bombarding them with a lot of questions. And also the particular boatyard we're in, it's a sort of working boatyard, so there is a lot of knowledge here, not just only for electrics, but for sort of anything from the basic shell through to the completion. So if you get stuck, you just wander around the boatyard and ask a guy. The guy next to me is fantastic. So yeah, it's there's knowledge, there's help out there if you need to get help. One thing I would say to you is, I'm no expert, and this isn't how to do it. This isn't an instructional video or anything like that. This is basically what I've learned and what I've worked out and what we're doing on our boat. So we've got plenty of fire extinguishers and smoke alarms, and I've got lots of rubber boots to wear while I'm testing it, etc. So, but no, joking apart, don't take this as what you should do on a boat, because it isn't. This is how I'm doing it, and this is what I've worked out. And if you do see anything in there that's blatantly wrong or obvious or whatever, please do comment, drop me a comment, and I'm quite happy to read it and take it on board.
Yeah, and also all this will be checked once we've got all this wire. Once the first fix is done, that'll all be checked.
Yeah.
And then when the second fix is done,
we're not going to just put it in and install it and then just hook it up to the batteries and everything and just say, yeah, that's fine. It will be checked by somebody a lot more knowledgeable than me, to be honest. Yeah. Same as everything on the boat though. No, it's a new boat and it's got to conform. It's going to be our home, so yeah, it's got to be right.
Good. Right, shall we show them what we've been doing with the cable runs?
Yeah. Right, when I first started trying to design the wiring for the boat, the diagrams that I was looking at on the internet, they make more sense now, but I might as well have looked at the Underground in London's diagram, or took the back off my telly, because I really didn't have much idea. But I have now. I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything or whatever, but I'm more confident in what I'm doing, and I'll just run through how we've got to that stage now. We started off by doing these drawings, and don't laugh, I know I'm not very good at drawing, but yeah,
I think they're good.
Yeah, they're okay. Basically all I've done on these is we sectioned the boat into each section. So you've got your saloon, your galley, the bathroom, the bedroom, etc. So we drew individual squares on there, and each of these, because the boats are more done in the old imperial feet and inches, each one of these squares represented a foot square. So we worked out the dimensions of the boat for each section, and then plotted down these symbols here represent the spotlights that are actually, this is an example of the ceiling in the saloon, which is the living area. So we've got 8 spotlights going in there. So knowing that, I just planned my cable runs to run to each of the spotlights with a positive wire, and then the black wire, negative wire, joining all those together, and then going back to the fuse board in the boat. Once you've drawn all this out, it then gives you a better idea of what cable lengths you're going to need for each bit. So you work out from the back of the house is going to be all our different rooms, if you like, are all going to be individually fed from a fuse board. So the saloon will have its own fuse at the fuse board at the rear of the boat. So from there I can then measure and calculate the length of cable run from that board to all these lights, every single light, and then you work out, if you go up here, I've worked out on here, I need 31 meters of positive cable, and to return back to the boat I'm going to need, on a negative cable, 13.5 meters. There is a big difference between those two. The reason being for ours is because we're going to have two-way switching, so I've got to run cables to connect the switches you come in the door and leave the room, if you like, so we can switch them from either side. Some people may just have a switch as you enter the room but not when you leave it. We thought it'd be better if we did it that way. So therefore you end up with more of a lot more positive cable than you do with a negative. And from that you can work out, you know what your LEDs are going to be, and ours are 1.8 watts. So each individual light is 1.8 watts, and you've got 8 of those. So your total watts for that saloon area in the lighting is 14.4 watts. And then all you do with this is you divide the watts by the voltage. You know the voltage, it's going to be 12 volts, but it's probably about 13.5 actually. So but you divide this figure by whatever voltage you've got on the boat, and that will give you your total amps for those lights for your saloon. Then I'll just move you on with these. All these are done for each side of the boat, the ceiling of the boat, the dinette, basically all the same, but obviously the diagrams are different because it's the different rooms, but basically that's what we've done there. Same again coming through here. This is the kitchen ceiling, more complicated in there because there's a few more cables going through that one. But yeah, try and keep it as simple as I've found. You try and keep it as simple as you can, and work on each section as you like. So then what I did then is I went onto the 12 volt boating group site, and if you go in their file section, there is actually a voltage drop calculator in there. So I'll move over to trying to work it to show you here. I'll show you these because it's the bathroom. This is the bathroom. Right, in our bathroom we've got the same lights as in everywhere. They're all 1.8 watts. And in the bathroom we've got 4 lights. So you've got your 1.8 watts per light multiplied by 4, because you've got a total of 4, giving you 7.2 watts. You then use your 7.2 watts, divide them by the volts, which you will know for your boat. So our bathroom lighting circuit has got a draw of 0.6 amps. So when you go on to the 12 volt side, you then enter the voltage, the current draw, which you know from your lights is 0.6 of an amp, and your runs 29 meters of positive and a negative of 14 meters. Then once you input these into the calculator on that site, it will then come up telling you that this is all the voltage drops for individual sizes of cable. These are in square mil, which is the sort of UK thing. I think the Americans use, I think it's AWG or something, the American wire gauge. So these symbols don't really mean a lot to anybody over in America, but there is you can do like a thing where you can calculate it. But anyway, in the UK it's 2.5 mil or 3 mil, 4 mil, 5 mil, 6 mil, etc. So we know now that we want a voltage, we don't want to go below, or higher should I say, than losing probably 2 or 3% on the lighting circuit. So you come down the percentage volt drop side here, and then you work your way down using these figures. If you change these figures, all this would alter, but this is what's came out for these. So we've got those figures, you go down this column, and so 2% voltage drop, you can then use a 2 mil cable, or 1.63, 2.5 mil cable. Obviously the bigger the cable, the less voltage drop you get. So we were aiming for 2%, 3%, around about that figure. But just to be doubly safe, as we thought, well, we'll go 2.5 mil. We could have got away with a 2 or maybe even a 1.5 mil, but just to be sure on the safe side, we thought we'll do the lighting circuit 2.5 mil. So we then know we're going to use 2.5 mil for the bathroom lighting circuit, and we're going to need 29 meters of positive red cable and 14 meters of a negative cable. So then you can put those onto a piece of paper at the side, just so that when you come to ordering your cable, you've got each room labelled up, and you think, well, I need 29 for that room, say 30 for that room, X, Y, Z, add them all up, then you'll know that roughly you're going to need, I don't know, 250 meters of 2.5 cable. So it makes it easier for when you're actually trying to order all your cables in. Cable that we've used for the boat is Ocean Flex single core tin thin wall cable, and we've gone for tinned. I've just by purely what I've read and been told, it makes a better connection, I've heard, and you can use ordinary copper wire for boats. This is more suitable for sort of salty water conditions, I know, but it's just sort of future proofing the boat really, and yeah, that's why we've gone for this sort of cable really. as you've just seen, all the cables that we've put in through that cable ties have all been labelled up, colour coded, and then obviously to keep a record of that we've just entered it in this book, so obviously we know that the blue and green is the pendant switch live 1 for the bedroom, switch live 2 is blue, yellow, etc, etc. So each one is individually colour coded and marked, and it sections down the boat, so that if ever we need to identify a cable, it's in the book and we can cross-reference it really. As you can see, these are the cable trays we've put in, and these are just like flexible conduit that we're going to use just to create a path from A to B, B to C, etc. So we've just taken a little bit of this insulation out just so that we can get over this battening for the ceiling that's going to support the finished ceiling and support the cable tray obviously. And because we're wrapping the boat with this foil, sort of, we started in the bilge and then we've decided to go all the way over the boat. We've just wrapped this so it pokes this side of this cable tray for now and this side of the cable tray, and then we've come through this, sealed it on the back side of this board if you like, so that the cables now can come through here. Our bedroom and bathroom is different with the cable runs. They're actually going to go around the perimeter of the boat, so this actually feeds to the starboard side. Yeah, but basically any cables are going to come into this cables trays, either whether it's this side or the other side of the boat, from the bathroom and the bedroom, and then once it gets to the bathroom bulkhead that goes onto our saloon, it's going to go down the centre of the boat right to the very end of the boat and then into our electric cupboard. These are going to be we're going to actually fill these with foam insulation once we know everything's in place and we haven't got to disturb anything else. We know they're in place. Yeah. So
these are the lights. So
these
one
are the
on
lights.
This side,
yeah.
And one on this side.
Yeah. And this.
So we just put the conduit across the middle.
Yeah. And then this one is the navigation lights, which are going to be on the side of the boat. So they're going to run, well, yeah, back to the fuse board, but this one will continue along here, and then you can't see at the moment because we've got this wardrobe temporary in place, and it'll go down the wall and then through the wall to the outside.
Yeah.
Same on the other side. Yeah, so there's a pair of lights.
Yeah.
Right, I've just stripped this wire back, ready to put a crimp connector on. But before I put the crimp connector on, I'm going to put a bit of heat shrink over there, just to thicken this a bit. You'll see why in a minute. So I'm just going to slide that on there for now. and this bit over the top. A bit fiddly. There we go. And my crimp connector's going to go onto that. There. Just going to shove that inside that before I squeeze it up. If it'll go. Should do. There, I'll do. So now I'm just going to crimp on that. These are marked for whatever size you've got, red, blue or yellow, so the blue one's the middle one, so just put it into there, squeeze it, ratchet it, there you go. And then what I'm going to do is drop the crimps on my foot and just give this a bit of a warm up there, without going too mad and melting everything. Slide that over the two. And then that just shrinks onto the other piece of heat shrink underneath. There you go. And that's it finished. It's ready to go into the spotlight in the bathroom. There's this one. Because this is like doubled up, you don't need to thicken that up, so that should just slide onto there. Just warm that up. There you go, there's your two connections then, ready to go into the light. This is the feed for the centre light, if you like, the middle light in the bedroom, because we've got two spotlights, a central light, and we're going to have two wall lights at the bed end, if you like. So this is going to be a switch down this area here to switch that on. There's going to be two-way switching between the two. So just got to figure out what goes where now. So yeah, we're going to have two-way switching onto the switch here. These are just light switches we've got to do temporary testing with, so I don't know whether these are going to be the final ones. But right, so we've got this one is L1 according to my book, live one, which goes into one-way switching just there. L2, this is switching between both light switches. You can see which is common into your common. So the common links, the common just is the same, the wire just goes from common to common on the other switch. L1 to L1, L2 to L2. So that's your switch wired up. Just going to leave that there for now, like that. So yeah, and then I'll pop a light. Just got these lights to go onto the lights here. So ready. Okay, so that's that switch and that light plugged in, if you like. This is just temporary until we finally do the final connections, but just for testing it out. So yeah, we've got, this is from the board to the switch, so it's from the back of the boat to put the power to this switch, which goes into blindness. Put my glasses on my help. There we go. L1. There we go. That's live into L1. also taken a feed from the main live to this bedroom to feed the other switch, which is going to feed the centre light in the bedroom. So it's going to power this switch up, which goes into L1 there as well. When it's two-way lighting, the L1 links to L1 on the other switch, L2 to this L2, and the common to common. It's pretty straightforward when you get your head around it. And then we've got this one, which is the bedroom spots. So this is just going to be a one-way light, so we switch the spots on and off from this switch here. There's no other switch involved, so you have your live in, and then that one goes into this common just here. So this is just being done temporary at the moment, just so we can rig it up. Use my belly as a prop. There you go. So that's that light switch, that's the light switch. Power into this switch, and then we've got common to the common on the other switch, which goes into this common on that switch. There. And this one is the two-way lighting, so that goes to L2, which is this one, into there. These are a bit long at the moment, I know, but they will be done a bit better. There you go, that's into L2, so that's your switches all wired up. So we will be able to switch this one on and off, and then on and off on the other switch. These talk to each other, and that one's just an independent one for the spotlights, which you come in the bedroom, switch it on, switch it off, switch the one in the middle, and then you can switch the middle one off from when you're laying in bed. You haven't got to get out of bed to switch the lights off. Good. So yeah, that's the switches all wired up. So I'm just going to put two more spotlights in. There's one.
These lights are quite thin, aren't they? They're like...
yeah, they are shallow, yeah.
Shallow, that's the word.
There you go. Just leave them dangling for now. So the next bit, just to go to the rear of the boat, connect it up with the battery. So we've labelled these up. Bedroom lights live, bedroom lights negative, neutral or black, whatever, red and black. We should be able to switch this one on, and the spotlights should come on.
Moment of truth.
And there you are, there's your spotlight working.
Hey!
And now your middle one, which is like your pendant centre light for the bedroom, is off this one. So if I turn that one on now, which is 1, 2, 3. Click,
yeah.
That's on. So the idea is we can walk in the bedroom door, put that light on, go into bed, so we don't have to get back out of bed. Yeah. We can then go to this switch, and then hopefully that light switch will turn off when I do that. 1, 2, 3. And then if we need to go up in the night, that comes on, and it switches on and off from the two switches.
Great.
And that's it.
Right then, watch your horn. Watch your horn. Right then, you might want to block your ears for this one, just a tester. You all right, Aid? You can turn it on. See, it stuck a bit of the fishing wire on a centre punch. Send it down. We not only use the fishing wire to help us pull these cables through, but we put extra fishing wire in lots of the conduit for future, really, just in case we ever need to pull any other cables through.
Yeah, this is the fan we're using for the bathroom extractor, and it's a fan and light combined LED light. So it all comes in the kit, and you get a choice of covers whether you want a chrome finish or a white finish. So they just fit on once they just clip on and twist on when you fitted the fan. You get 2 lots of wires with these as well, because there's a light and a fan. So you can independently switch the light and fan on if you want to. We don't want to do that. We're just going to have the light on when the fan's on. So just one switch basically. Now we've run the cable. We've run the cable from our bathroom light for the bathroom spotlights is going to be here. So we're taking a feed from that, a live feed, up this conduit, which is going to run all the way up here and across on one of these labelled cables here. It's this one, and that goes up through the conduit, through here, then drops down inside the void inside the wall. So there's a piece of conduit running down here all the way down, and then it goes to the fan switch there. And then obviously you just take a feed from the switch, from the outside of the switch, back up to the top, and then inside to the shower, which is these up here. So,
and you've put all the,
yeah, I've just put the crimp connectors on the end, ready for fitting the shower, fitting the fan onto there.
If we don't want this fan on, if we're not using the shower,
fan or the light, yeah,
so that light won't come on.
Yes.
But if we're using the bathroom,
yes,
we didn't want the bathroom to be too dark, so we also wanted the other light
there, yeah,
on. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why we've got 2 lights in the shower.
Yeah.
This conduit is we've just hooked it up there, so out the way, so we don't keep knocking it. But that comes down, to the
switch on the wall. Yeah. Yeah.
And is that 2-way as well?
Yeah, so that if we come in from at night, we can come from the rear of the boat, which is from where the living area is. At night we can come in, switch the light on here, go over to the other side of the bathroom and switch it off, and then go into the bedroom obviously from there.
Right.
Yeah, so and vice versa. So yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so it's all fed on 2.5mm, the lights. We've clipped the 230 volt to the front edge of the underside of the gunnel, and this will be covered by a decorative trim which will be joined between the bottom half of the boat and the top cabin side. We will make this actually easily removable, so that if ever we need to gain any access to the cables in future, we can do. We're running it in a ring main around the boat. Use an Arctic blue cable which is suitable for marine use. Standard stuff from sort of Screwfix, Tool Station, all them sort of suppliers. 50 metre drums you buy. So yeah, we've ran that around the boat, and then this is in the bedroom area. This is going to be a double socket, so we're going to use these dry lining boxes for this, which you use for plasterboard and stuff. So we just pull that through.
Why dry lining boxes?
Because these are plastic and it's not
Instead of the metal
instead
ones.
of the metal ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they just fit into the recess there, and then you just push those in, clip them into place, and then as you put your switch on the front of that, as you put your screws into these from the switch into there, it pulls these clips forward, and then they tighten onto the whatever the wall finish is, either whether it's plasterboard, in this case it's the tongue and groove, so they'll pull onto the tongue and groove, and then all this white edge and all this lot will all be hidden behind the socket, and then it's just basically you just connect the cables in, strip this back. You'll see it in a later vlog and we do that anyway, but yeah.